Good morning, everyone. It is Monday and we are February 24th. I hope you are doing good this morning. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit because I find that my head is on the top. Hi, Sandra. Okay, so I think that might be a little better. So, hi Laurie. So nice to see you guys pop on this fabulous Monday morning. I feel like I didn't have time to think about, I know what we're doing this morning, but my little intro, and so it's going to come as it comes. Good morning, Diane. I'm just coming back from a trip to New Liskeard. It was so nice to meet some of you. I couldn't meet all of you because the time is always so short and there's so many people to see, but the time I spent with friends and family was really priceless. Now I'm back in my environment. I guess that is itself is an intro to what we'll be doing this morning. Good morning, Nancy. Is coming into listening. So listening to what's going on inside, but I'm really talking about listening with our ears. I remember my teacher Anandra saying that chanting was more about listening than about actually chanting. And so I think we'll be doing a little experiment with that this morning. But you know how when we chant for a certain period of time and then we stop and then it's silence, it's the silence, how we can appreciate it better after bathing in the sound and producing sound. And I think that if we develop that skill, that will help us to sit in silence, for sure. But it also helps us to be better listeners. And in a world where we are bombarded with sound and voices and speech, good morning, Vicky. Lots of information coming in. We're listening to the news, we're listening to TV, we're listening to Netflix, we're scrolling and listening to TikTok videos and stuff like that. There's always sound coming in. And I think we kind of get immune to it because, and I know sometimes, for my part, I could be listening at two things at once, but not really listening, right? Because you can't really do that. But let's say you have your television playing, but you're on your phone and there's something else that has some sound in it. Let's say you're scrolling and then all of a sudden there's sound. So we get like bombarded with all of these sounds. Now we know that sounds really affect our nervous system. So which sounds and how much sound is too much sound? And what kind of sounds do we want to let in? Because it's really going to affect how we're feeling. Good morning, Diane. So this exercise that we'll be doing this morning is all about listening. And so we'll start by listening to silence, our environment, where we are. And then slowly and gradually, I'm going to put the sound of the drone on. And we're going to start to merge into this sound. So this sound is going to be on top of, right, the other sounds of our environment. And then slowly we'll start merging our voices into that sound. So we'll be humming in at first very softly, and then we'll hum louder. And then I'll invite you to sing out a full, our will become an ah, and we'll sing out fully. So having our sound being dominant. And then we'll do the, we'll extract. So we'll extract the ah, go back to the humming, which is more subtle and it's going to merge more with the sound of the drone. And then we will stop making sound and go back to listening to the drone. And then the drone is slowly going to fade away. And then we're going to be back into this silence. So today is about listening. It's about noticing, how sound affects us and what do we hear. And hopefully, and I'm sure that by doing this exercise of listening in and then chanting, but when we chant, we're also listening to how the sound is changing. And by doing this exercise, we'll be more aware of our sound environment. So if you're ready, make sure that you are seated in a comfortable position. You can be sitting in a chair, a comfortable chair. Just make sure that your back is straight. I can hear the crows this morning. I haven't heard that in a long time. I'm wondering if it's a sign of spring, maybe. Wishful thinking. So closing our eyes, let's take 3 big cleansing breaths. That's just going to help us settle. So through the belly and dropping the shoulders. One more time. And one last time. So now just checking in. And so while we're listening, we're listening to the sounds that are around us. When you really listen, it's amazing at how many sounds you can hear. We try to pinpoint and count the sounds. I can hear the clock ticking. I can hear traffic in the distance. I can hear crows. I hear my refrigerator. Slowly, we're going to start encouraging our breath to have longer exhales. So again, about the vagus nerve, number 1, to help it calm down is breath. So deep breathing through our bellies, through our nose, and then just listening to the sound that makes. And then letting it out slowly through our lips. to the sound of our environment through our breath. Breathing in for 4 and out for more. Really listen to the sound it makes when you take your breath in through your nose and the sound it makes when you let it out, either through your mouth or your nose. And while you're doing this breath exercise, keep listening to the sounds around you. All of a sudden, the sound that you hear more is the sound of your own breath. But all of the other small sounds are still in the background. You can keep breathing this way if it feels good. If you want to let your breath return to its natural state, and keep listening in as the sound of the drone is going to slowly merge in. Or you might start to hear it in the distance. Just take in all the sounds that you're hearing right now. See if you can take in the sounds without analyzing too much, but just be in the sound. listening. Keep breathing. And just noticing that even in silence, sitting in silence, silence is so full of sound. And so making sure that you protect your sound environment throughout your day. Sound is so present that we don't always hear everything that's going on. But our body is still taking those vibrations in and those sounds in. I think our subconscious is hearing all of these sounds. So maybe just noticing when you feel irritated or stressed out or tired. What is your sound environment like? Is there something you can shut off? Even putting some earphones on and with no music. And that would be also beneficial to cut out sounds that are that we don't have any control over, really. And see how that feels. I thank you so much for joining me this morning, and for all of you who are going to join in later, today, tomorrow. Just a little reminder that Thursday is going to be a new moon, and we're going to have a Zoom session on Thursday. So if you want to register, it's still open for registration. You can just send me a message and we'll make it happen. And don't forget to log on to Facebook with the Women's Wellness Group with Lori on Friday morning for the Friday morning meditation. And for those of you who speak French and want to do this experiment again on Thursday, we will be doing this in French Thursday morning at 8. So this being said, thank you so much for being there, being part of my journey. I cannot tell you enough how important this connection with all of you is to me, and starting my week with you at 7 in the morning is priceless. Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. Have a great week.